It's Rick. How you doing today? It's Tuesday evening. I haven't done a painting in a couple days, so I'm getting kind of edgy. I need to do some artwork. So what I did today is I just covered this with a light gray and let it dry so I get rid of all the white reflection under the paint. This is just a mixture of white and black. It's on the gray scale. It looks like a value 5. 4 and 5, somewhere in there, which is about equal white and black. But if you want to do this, just take a 16 by 20 and start by letting, this only takes a few minutes to dry, so just put a light coat of gray on there. I use water in the paint with a larger brush to get it done quickly. So I'm gonna lay this out real quick with the large filbert brush. What I think I'm gonna do today is like actually put the horizon almost right in the middle, okay, somewhere in here. But I want to follow some kind of X design here. So what I'm going to do is put an X and an X coming from here down like that, okay? It's just, I'm going to kind of follow that so all my terrain is within those lines, and then this will be clouds, and I'm going to put some mountains back here right now using that dark gray. Let's put not going to make them too big, too steep, but we'll put a bunch of peaks back here. Like that. That's all you need. Let's make this one in the middle a little bigger. When I put the color up there, I'll make more peaks on it and stuff, but that looks good. So after you get this in, that's pretty easy. That looks pretty easy so far. Let's see, I'm doing this on the fly, so let's just extend those out so you can kind of see what's really going on, okay? So you don't follow those lines too much. They're just there to help you to put the trees and the hills in place. So what I'm going to do down here is I'll probably run some kind of river from the back through here, and what I'm going to do is create some more land here that's a little more not so straight, you know what I mean? There we go. So this is basically going to be water down here in the middle, coming from way back here, okay? These are going to be treetops coming down, maybe to here. So what I got, let's put the sky in right now. I think I'm going to keep the sky dark and put some white clouds up there. So what I'm doing, I just have a little water in this cup. And here's my paint. I got a raw umber, yellow ochre, yellow. This is hooker green. I got it in two places because so if I want light green, I can use this. This is going to be the dark green. I'm going to mix black in it for these trees on the side. And I got black and white and some kind of blue. I might put a little blue in the sky, but I know I'm going to put some blue down in the water here. So once you got this in, let's make the sky a little, fill it in a little more. So I'm going to take some of this gray right now. I'm actually going to put a little bit of this blue in it. This is cobalt blue. Okay. Let's blue it up just a little bit, see what that looks like. We'll put it up in the sky. Look at that. Look at that dark sky. It looks dark, but when I put some white clouds on top of that, it's going to come alive. It's going to look good. So right now, I'm going to actually add a little more blue in it now. Just blending it in as I go down. Let's grab a little more blue. I'm wetting my brush too a little bit to help it flow. Now watch this. I'm going to grab a little titanium white and it's going to really lighten up this blue. I'm not even going to rinse my brush off. Just going to wet it a little with water, grab some white, and I'm going to bring some white down to my mountains now. Titanium white, mixing it with that gray sky and blue. Let's bring it down to the mountaintops. You don't have to do everything perfect right now. What I'm doing right now is getting my base color in. Okay. Now I'm going to put the palette down and I'm going to wipe my brush off because I want to really get this blended in right here where the two colors are coming together to make it look like a transition coming down, getting lighter before it dries. You know, acrylic paint dries fast, so you got to work a little faster. Okay, so look at that. Look at that transition. Look at that sky from dark to light. Wow, that looks amazing. You can almost see. In a little bit, you might be able to see that blue come through when it soaks in a little bit. Let's put these treetops in right now so you can kind of get an idea. Now let me, I think I need to do the mountains first to get this ground laid in here. But look at that sky. Make sure you blend the two colors out like I did here. Let me fix the mountains up a little bit now. And maybe get the peaks a little higher into the sky where I didn't come down just enough. Just like that. Look at that. Alright, now I'm going to put some snow up on these peaks. Let me give it a second to dry. But what I'm going to do here, there's going to be trees coming down here and trees coming down here. And we're going to have a few hills down here. I'm designing this on the fly. Let's put our water in right now while we're waiting for the mountain to dry. We're going to use, let me grab the palette again. We're going to use that gray that I put the little blue in there. I'm going to put a little more blue. and the gray. Just mix it on your palette. It's like a bluish gray. Wet your brush a little bit, okay, so it flows better. And let's just put in some water down here. I'm going to kind of follow where the land's going to be here. Doesn't have to be perfect right now. We're just getting the color down. I'm going to have land right in here. Got to mix a little more bluish gray here. Have some water down here. I'm still working on the base color right now. I haven't really started painting yet. I'm just getting an undercolor in right now. And landscapes are they're pretty fun because you can design them as you go, like I'm doing here. Let me do the mountains here real quick. Now that it's dry, I'm going to use a knife, and I'm going to put some color up on those mountains. I'm going to use a little bit of white, but I'm going to put a little bit of this grayish blue in it, because I don't want it like totally white. I'm going to like dull it down a little bit with some gray, okay? That way it's not bright white like that, okay? I don't want a lot of snow on these peaks because I want it to look like they're far away, so I'm just going to hit the right side of each peak with a little bit of color, just on the top right. I'm just going to pull a little bit of color, okay? Just enough to give the mountain some dimension, okay? That's enough. And what I'm going to do now is I mix a dark blue and gray for the other side. Take some blue and gray and I'm going to use it for this side over here. Might be too dark. I'll have to lighten it up just a bit by adding a little white to it. There we go. So it looks a little grayer, light gray. So everywhere I put white, I'm pulling this gray color just to the left of the white. Just like that. Let me fix this peak here. Now I want to put a little bit of some hills down in here. With some white. Now I'm going to grab my brush and wet it and then kind of wipe it off. And I'm going to lightly blend this down here. Underneath the mountains. Just at the bottom. Very good. When that dries, I'm going to hit that with some brown. I'm going to put my land in right now, down here. I'm going to use this is raw umber. So what I'm going to do is take a little raw umber over here and maybe put a little yellow in it and a little bit of white just to lighten it up. And let's put in some land right here. We'll start about here. Now let's just fill this in with that color. It's like a light brown, I'd say. Let's do both sides just about the same way. The river's going to be sneaking through here. It's kind of hard to see right now, I know, but just get these colors down like this right now. And this will all make sense here in a little bit when I get some stuff going vertical, okay? Doesn't that look cool so far, though? Because this is all going to be a groundwork down here. I think once you do a few landscapes, you'll start to understand. Your eye will start seeing more, okay? Now these are going to be trees here coming down. So I'm going to mix my hooker green now with the black. Okay, I just put my thumb in the black. I want these trees dark, so what I'm going to do is take some black right here, just with my brush. You should use a knife, but let's get that really dark green. When you put black in a color, it's going to tell you that it's in the shade, okay? And let's, I'm going to block this in with this dark color right now. Same way I've been doing all this down here, I'm just going to block it in with the same color. Okay. These are going to end up being tree tops once I get the fan brush out. And then the bottom's going to kind of come down like this. Back towards the front. So let's just fill this in. These are going to be trees. Hooker green with black in it, okay? Let's just do that right now. Let's do the other side the same way. So I'm going to grab some more black and some of that green and darken it up. And I want to have the trees, I can see my line of the original X, so I can follow it. And I want these trees to come down to here and shoot off this way. So I'm going to put the bottom in so I got something to follow. I got to wet my brush a little to get the paint to flow. Okay. Don't cover your mountains, just stay in that X that we made, or if you made an X. And just block this in with color. Let me stand back and look at it now. See, it's kind of coming alive now. Can you see it now? What's going on with this? Look at that scene. Wow. That looks amazing already. I haven't even put the treetops in yet, but that looks pretty amazing. So what we're going to do here on the bottom of these trees, get rid of some of these lines so they don't look so fat. The trees are... Take your brush and wet it a little bit. And what I want to do is grab a little bit of the color on your brush with a wet brush. It's really wet, but let's come underneath here now and pull your trees out at the bottom like this. And get smaller as you go back. And then bigger over here. We can go in deeper in some places so the tree line doesn't look totally straight. See that? We're making some kind of grass there is what's going on. Now the tree line is kind of going like this, okay? Let's do the same thing on the other side. Wet your brush, grab some of that paint, and let's pull it straight out, horizontal, and get smaller in the back here. And you can get big out here. We're going right over that brown color to make some grass. Now, come in deeper in some places here. So we get a tree line that's kind of not straight across, okay? Just like that. Look at that. That looks amazing so far. I'm going to bring this green color kind of all the way down. And then we'll have some brown near the water. Look at that scene so far. It looks pretty good. I really like that so far. Looks pretty amazing. So what I want to do now in this color here, I want to add some dark some darker color. So I'm going to grab a little bit of this raw umber, put it over here, and just take my brush and kind of make some dark spots down in here. I'm going to put my brush down and wipe it off now with a rag and come in here and lightly blend that into that sand, just so we get some different colors going in there. I didn't want to hit the water, but way in the back here I'm going to put some white. Put a little bit of white on your brush and I'm going to lighten up this back here. Looks pretty good. I'm going to try and glaze this back here now with that brown. See how white that looks back there? I like it, but what I'm going to do is take some of this brownish color on a wet brush and just pick up some of that color and lightly go across that white back there, very lightly. Just to turn it like brownish color, just like that. That's all you need, just a little bit. When that dries, I'm going to run the river with my knife down into this section. Then I'm going to put the water in. Let's do the trees right now. You're going to need a fan brush. I'm just going to use a small acrylic #2, a #1 fan brush to make some treetops up here. You don't have to wet your brush as much now because we got all our paint down now, okay? So just mix a little bit of that black and that green, hooker's green. Fill your brush up and come up here and make a few evergreen tree tops, okay? I'm going to put the palette down so I can move now. And we're going to have a bunch of tree tops coming down, okay? So with the corner of my brush, pressing in to put the branches on those tree tops, okay? Just with the corner. Doesn't that look cool? I'm kind of moving fast, so you'll be taking your time, and it should look better than mine actually. But just come down with your treetops all the way. I know you don't want to watch me do that on the whole video, so I'm just going to come down on this side, and I'll do that side when I shut the video off, okay? Try and make them look a little different. They don't all have to be perfect too, so. See how that looks coming down now? I got stuff in the way here, hold on. Let me make sure everything's, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. Yeah. When you do these tree tops, like I said, you don't need to wet your brush as much anymore because we've already got all the paint down, okay? You can do one at a time, one tree top at a time. I just put all these in so you could see how far I was going to go with these tree tops. All the way down to here, okay? I know I always say I like to use an oil fan brush when I make these trees, but when you're making them this small, an acrylic fan brush is okay. When it's just the tops like this, you can use an acrylic fan brush. I actually found a pretty good acrylic fan brush that doesn't lose its shape. Look at that. It's staying in shape pretty good. This is made by, I can't see the name anymore, but this is a good fan brush. Simmons, I believe. Yeah. Acrylic brush, Simmons, #1 acrylic. Alright, so basically I'm going to have the treetops coming down on both sides. I'll put a few over here so you get the idea. Treetops coming all the way down. Okay, and if you want, you can darken this up a little lower now. If you mix the color a little darker, just take your fan brush and stamp in some darker color. Just like that. I'll probably continue all the way down with this darker color. I really like that, the way it looks. I'm going to take my fan brush now and rinse it off, and I'm going to define the edge of these trees with titanium white, believe it or not. Could use yellow, but I'm going to use white. And at the edge of your trees, just pull out some titanium white. Just at the bottom of the trees. I'm going to switch to a filbert brush. That brush was too hard. Little bit of white on a filbert brush. Just like that. That'll end up soaking in. Look at that. I'm going to grab my cool knife now and run some water down from here to this water here. Just going to use white so it shows up. There's just on the tip of my knife. I'm going to come from this way down. This is going to represent water here. And then I'm going to zigzag back. This way and right down into the middle here. Just like that. Now I'm going to edge my water here. Get the other knife. Kind of going fast. I'm bringing that white right up to the edge of the dirt and then keeping my knife straight. I'll put a little bit here in the middle, make it look like it's flowing. Look at that. So the water is actually going up onto the dirt a little bit. Okay. can run that white onto the dirt like this. Look at that. That looks pretty wicked. What I'm going to do is take my big filbert brush and clean it and dry it off real quick. And I'm going to go across some of this water now and keep my brush horizontal. And lightly hit some of it. Just like that. Look at that, guys. That's coming out pretty good. It's coming out really good. I like it. What I think I'm going to do on the bottom of these trees, I'm going to line some trees up down here. So that's why I got this white down here. I'm not really worried about this groundwork yet. I think I'm going to put some trees like here going here, going back. So that's the game plan. So we got a river coming from way back there. And I'm going to probably line up some bushes down here. I really like it so far. I still got to do the clouds. Man. Let me put a cloud up there. I want to show you what it looks like on this gray sky. I'm going to do one in white real quick and show you what it's going to end up looking like. We'll just throw some white up here randomly with a knife. Like this. Let me grab my filbert brush and I'm going to lightly blend it now. Look at that. Look at that. That's going to be wicked. Might as well do a few more for you. We'll keep them small here at the bottom. And then we'll get a little bigger as we move up. Maybe they're going up towards this way here. Very lightly hit it with the filbert brush. You can let some of this white come up in here like that because the wind's probably blowing them. Lightly hit them. It's a cool way to make clouds. And then you can run some of that white up in here like that on the brush. Doesn't that look cool? The light's really glaring on this one right here. Easy way to make clouds. I hope you like that way. It's really cool. You can take a small brush now and get some of your gray. Get like a grayish color on your brush, and you can come in here and gray up some of the bottom of these clouds, okay? You can actually just brush it in at the bottom to give it a shadow at the bottom. And wipe your brush and lightly blend it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got like a shadow underneath the clouds now. probably hard to see on the camera, but it's there. It gives the cloud a little dimension. This scene's really, it's looking good. I kind of did a little messy job down here, but you get the idea. You get the idea going on down there. I could almost turn this into a waterfall here, but then I'd have to make a cliff there, which wouldn't be too hard. Let's put in some shrubs and bushes down here along this grass. So I'm going to use my small filbert brush, and I'm going to use I'm going to use this hooker green and blacken it up again, darken it up. You got to have dark bushes, then you can put some light color on it, and then you can give it some highlights. So you got to have dark first. Put a few bushes in here. And always pull the bottom one way when you're done putting in these bushes. Just get the bottom pulled somehow. Let's put a few bushes over here. Some small bushes. And then pull the bottom. Just a little at the bottom. Take a brush across the bottom. Just like that. Let's put a few bushes here. Down to the water. Pull the bottom to the right. Put smaller ones here now. We're moving back, so they're going to be smaller. Small bushes. Let's make this one a little bigger. Let's make some really, really, really small ones back here. Really small. Like that. Alright, I like that. I'm going to take that same color and put a little white in it now. It's the same color, and I'm going to highlight this bush for you to show you how cool it looks when you highlight. Barely tap it. Barely tap these. Just like that. You could use a fan brush for this to make it look a little better. Look at that. I'm only going to highlight just a little on these back here. Just a little. Just to throw some color on them. Just like that. It's looking really good. I'm going to mix some black in my hooker green again and get my fan brush. Actually make, let's put a tree right here. Now that we got some bushes, use the corner of your brush and put on your branches. Get wider at the bottom. Just like that. Put one behind it here. Got a couple trees there. Can put one more right here at an angle. I think these will look better if they were taller. I'm going to make it taller now. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to highlight those. They're really dark, but I think when I highlight them, they're going to look good. Put one here. Just trying to paint loose now. Doesn't that look cool? Oh, I got it zoomed in too much, sorry. I just put 3 trees over here and 2 over here. I'm going to highlight this now. This is the color I used, the hooker green with black. Now I'm going to grab a little white and lighten it up a little bit. And that's going to be my highlight color now. Just on the right side, on the top part of the branches. You won't see the top part of the branches. You got to kind of pick them out by lightly hitting the right side of the tree. Okay, it'll add some dimension to the tree then. Hopefully you can see that. You can make this as light as you want by adding more white to it. I just put a little white in it. just helps give the tree a little dimension. Look at that. That looks really good so far. It's a cool scene. It's I started off with the X, remember? The X I made? And then the horizon. I pretty much followed it. Let me give you more of a front shot of it. Still a lot of work to be done on it, but it's looking good so far. I think I'm at almost at an hour, so what I'm going to do, let's see, let's add a few birds up here. I got to start cleaning my brushes better, because that's what happens to your liner brush. If you don't clean it right, it'll make a fat bird when I want them to look really thin, you know. That's all right. These birds take a little practice. You got to have just the right touch and size. If you want them to look really far, you got to make them really small. See if I can make some twigs here. Some like tree branches in here. Sometimes you get the right consistency on your liner brush, and then you can really make some cool twigs. It just starts running off your brush just perfect, the paint. And you just got to get the paint just on the tip of the brush. Alright, I'm sure you don't want to watch me make twigs, but put some twigs in your scene. I like making the white ones too. Let me put a few white ones in there. Let's see what happens. Yeah, the white looks good on top of this green color. See that? You just got to take your time, put your twigs in. You can mix a little brown and white. Uh, and you can put a few tree trunks in here. Just like that. Alright guys, I got a lot of work to do, but I kind of like this design. If you like it, I'm sure you can do it. I'll finish up these trees over here with tops. Probably put more bushes around this river. Fix this water up a little more with color. And man, that looks pretty good. Alright guys, let's see if anybody's on. Buddy, yeah, Bubby and Peggy's on. Hey, hi. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Yep, thanks Bubby, I'm just winging it. But I can see I got a lot left to do on this one, but I like it. I started off with the X here, and then horizon. That was it. It's coming out pretty good. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. I'll finish this up and throw it on the final image on the community post. But you'll be able to watch this, so I'm going to let it go live here. Alright. Happy Thanksgiving.